blocking is the process of taking your unfinished garment or finished garment and shaping it so that it is even and according to the directions or instructions. Because if you notice here, you've got a wide piece and then this goes in. Well, that's because you've gone from an eyelet pattern to a rib pattern. And rib knits up differently than eyelet does. When you're blocking, you want to be sure that you look at your pattern, and your pattern will tell you how it wants the stitches to lay. Your ribbing, you want to make sure that you keep it the size it needs to be without losing the rib. I'm using Knitter's Pride. I love the Knitter's Pride blocking mats. The blocking mats interlock. So depending on which project you're doing, you just put your blocks together. So those are your blocking mats, and then I like to use blocking pins so that I can cover a lot of area. The blocking pins have nice sharp points on them so that you can grab, and you'll see how this helps once you move along. And then there's T-pins in case you need to put little tiny pieces on the end. Alrighty. Let's go over to the sink. Cool water. You don't want to use hot water. And then I just take my soap and put a little in. You don't need a lot. I love Soak. Soak Wash is a great product for blocking because it softens the fibers. It's like a wool wash, like a woolite kind of thing. Okay. When you're using Soak though, what I love about it is you don't have to rinse it. And then while the sink is filling, I get my towel, my trusty towel ready. Towel, I like to use one that's nice and absorbent. Sometimes those really thick, fluffy towels don't absorb the way we like them to. Put it in. Okay. All the way in and get it all nice and wet. Yep, that's it. You want to make sure it's totally submerged and wet. Now, you're just going to pick it up and squeeze it. Don't twist. And squeeze out the water. Yeah. Can you feel the difference already?
Yes.
In the way the actual yarn feels. Kim, you want to?
Yeah, here. Sure.
Just. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Okay, now take it and lay it out on your towel. Yeah, we're going to.
Fold it over itself,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you can fold it over. There you go. Perfect. All right, now start from that end. Doesn't matter which end, and roll it. The work comes here when you're getting it on the mats. Okay, now the best way to make sure you get all that water out is take that towel and put it on the floor.
I'm stepping on it?
And step on it.
Okay.
Yep. Now bring it up here to the table and unroll it. And what I like to do here is instead of just lifting it up like this, I pick it up in a bunch so that I don't stretch it.
Okay.
All right, and lay it down on the mats. Okay, now I'm going to help you out a little bit here. Up there. We don't want to stretch it more than it's supposed to be. And so sometimes we have to work with it. The nice thing with blocking is you can make something bigger and you can also block it in so that you take this and you make it straight, but you're not going to stretch it. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go up the side here and you're going to get one side pinned all the way up, and then you shape the other side. So this piece has a wider end there and then it straightens out all the way. So you need to keep this here because that's where your line is. So that's how wide it's going to be. See, so what you want it to be sure here is that you're not taking it and stretching it as wide as you want it to be.
Right.
as opposed to as wide as it should be. Because wherever you block it is where it's going to live. Once you give it its shape, that's how it's going to hold. This is our 9-inch mark. That's where we have to follow. So all the way up, that's how we want it to work. This is your process. You just keep on both sides. You want to make sure that these are always in the same place. So you have a straight line there, and you do a straight line here. And that's your process. And so then once you get the whole thing done, here's the patience part. You
just
let it sit and you let it dry.
Okay.